Welcome to Flashback, the show that takes you back in time to some of the greatest moments in sports history. Today we tell you about an incredible fight between two of today's top heavyweights, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Come on, let's get our time machine and head to the 1st of December 2018 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles for this WBC World Heavyweight Championship. Are you following us? Let's go. This matchup looks like a battle of titans or giants. Take your pick. Judge for yourself. 2 meters 01 and 211 pounds for reigning champion Deontay Wilder, and 2 meters 06 and 255 pounds for the Gypsy King. These two forces of nature clash this December evening at the legendary Staples Center. But before we take a look at this legendary fight, let's first take a look at the rocky careers of these two champions. Reigning champion Deontay Wilder is nicknamed the Bronze Bomber in reference to his bronze medal at the Beijing Olympics, but also to former champion Joe Louis, whose nickname was the Brown Bomber. Yet nothing seemed to indicate that he was destined to become a world heavyweight champion. Far from it. As a 19-year-old father, Wilder worked 3 jobs to support his family, but a medical diagnosis is about to change his life. His newborn daughter Naya has spina bifida, a neural tube defect near the lumbar region. She may never be able to walk. The only way to save her is to undergo extensive treatment. But this is the United States. The costs associated with this type of treatment are exorbitant for parents. As a young father, Wilder must find a way to help his daughter. Wilder, who was an excellent soccer and basketball player in high school, turned to boxing in the hope of raising money quickly to finance his daughter's treatment. I had to do it. I had to get in the ring to save my daughter. I could do anything for her. And when I started boxing, I promised her I'd become world champion, for her sake. So that's where Wilder's rage in the ring comes from. He fights for his daughter. Perhaps the noblest of motivations. Right from the start, he exploded in the amateur ranks. In 2007, he won the Golden Gloves and the US heavyweight title. His performances earned him selection for the Beijing Olympics in 2008, where he won a bronze medal after losing on points, 13-7, to Italian world champion Clemente Russo. And after this Olympic medal, Wilder turned pro, still driven by the same rage. As expected, Deontay crushed everything in his path. 8 first-round victories between 2009 and 2010.
Then here in Tucson, Joseph, Missouri, the same town that produced the victim of our opening bout tonight.
He makes his mark on the American circuit and gets the opportunity to fight WBC Continental Champion Kelvin Price. Once again, Price was no match for the Bronze Bomber's punch and power. Third-round knockout, Wilder continues to build his reputation as a ferocious puncher by defeating former world champion Sergey Liakovich, again in the first round.
Down he goes! And it's over. Just
After 32 consecutive victories on the professional circuit, he was able to concretize this fierce domination with his first WBC world title. On January 17, 2015, it was champion Berman Steven who came up against him. This fight is the one that brings Wilder into the heavyweight Gotha. At the end of a fight of rare intensity for a heavyweight bout, Wilder captures the WBC World Championship belt. He's on top of the world.
From Wilder, there's a 1-2 by the challenger, another right hand, and now Wilder pouring on the pressure at the bell, and a takedown at the bell by Stavern.
He defended his title 7 times between 2005 and 2008. What do these victories have in common? They all ended by KO or technical knockout. Wilder distinguishes himself from other heavyweight champions, such as Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko, by his brutal, determined style. He boxes to destroy. And as well as being a formidable puncher, Deontay is a showman. He never fails to put on a show with each and every one of his entries. The Tuscaloosa native has built a glittering stage set around the fictional character of the Bronze Bomber. Venetian mask, golden bathrobe, and the famous rallying cry are all part of the Wilder show. On the 1st of 2018, a new challenger came to face him, Tyson Fury. Fury opposes Wilder with a diametrically opposed boxing style. The British fighter uses his reach and left jab to control his opponent. Agile in dodging and fast for a boxer over 2'06", he knows how to control the tempo of a fight. It has to be said that Tyson has fighting in his blood. Born 3 months premature, he weighed just 500 grams at birth. As a child, he and his brother Shane boxed in the family kitchen, using tea towels as gloves. In fact, he owes his first name to the legend Mike Tyson. His father, John, was a bare-knuckle street fighter and professional boxer. He is now serving an 11-year prison sentence for gouging out an eye in a bar fight. Above all, Fury is a gypsy and proud of it. I'm a gypsy, which means I never turn down a fight. It's in me. Belonging to the gypsy community is something indelible. No matter how rich I am, I'll always live in a caravan. In short, the Gypsy King is a real brawler, and it's logical that he turned to boxing as a teenager. He made his amateur debut in the super heavyweight category. In 2006, he won the bronze medal at the Junior World Championships. With dual English and Irish nationality, he was not selected for the Beijing Olympics despite his status as the world's #3 junior boxer. He consoled himself with the title of English champion before embarking on a professional career in 2008. Turning pro at the age of 20, he racked up 14 consecutive wins before meeting Derek Chisora for the British Championship belt. With a point win, Fury captured his first pro belt and began to make a name for himself on the international heavyweight scene. He met the same Chisora a second time for the British Championship belt, the EBU European Championship belt, and the WBO World Championship belt. Again, Fury prevailed when Chisora refused the 11th round call, his eyes aching from Fury's repeated assaults. Following this fight, Fury established himself as the #1 challenger to the WBA and IBF champion, the immense Vladimir Klitschko. At the time, the Ukrainian had been world heavyweight champion for over 11 years. Beating Klitschko would be the ultimate consecration for Tyson Fury and would place him at the top of the world hierarchy. At the end of a tactical fight in which both champions did their utmost to avoid knocking out Klitschko, the more active Fury won on points and took all 3 WBA, WBO, and IBF belts. Fury is on top of the world. Unfortunately, this state of grace was short-lived. The Gypsy King's lifestyle of excess caught up with him and jeopardized his sporting career and even his life. He refused to defend his IBF title against Glaskov and was consequently stripped of it. The rematch against Klitschko, scheduled for the 9th of July 2016, also never took place. Fury cited an ankle injury as the reason for the postponement. Later declared medically unfit to fight, he confessed to taking cocaine to treat a terrible depression. At rock bottom, seemingly defeated by his demons and a life of excess, he announced his retirement at the age of 28, wishing to take some time to refocus on himself.
The achievements, the money, the fame, the family, nothing mattered. So when nothing matters, then I thought there's no point living. I do want to die. And I prayed for death on a daily basis. I wake up in the morning thinking, why did I wake up this morning? Why didn't I die in my sleep? And if I tell that to my wife and my family, then they just break down and what is going on in this man's mind? It wasn't an easy 2 years. There wasn't a day went by that I didn't want to die.
But the King of the Gypsies is a fighter at heart. Fighting is part of his DNA, and the call of the ring is too strong. When he was younger, the child of Manchester had Roy Keane and Eric Cantona as his idols. Two fierce men, both on and off the pitch, who never shied away from a challenge. Tyson drew on the depths of his resources to take up this colossal challenge. the toughest of his life. On January 10, 2018, Tyson Fury announced his comeback. The champion wants to reclaim his belt. After a few quickly dispatched rematches against second-rate boxers, he directly challenged Deontay Wilder, holder of the WBC heavyweight belt. It should be pointed out that the category is split in two and lacks any real hierarchy, with Wilder on one side, who remains unbeaten with his WBC title, and Anthony Joshua on the other, who holds the IBF, WBA, and WBO belts vacated when Fury first retired. Like a good trash talker, Fury titillates a Wilder eager to prove to the world that he's the undisputed, unchallenged heavyweight champion. And at the same time, he takes the opportunity to tackle an Anthony Joshua, accused of running away from the fight against Wilder. In the end, the Gypsy King's proposal is accepted by Wilder, even though Fury, who returned to competition too recently, is not his official challenger for the WBC belt. The fight is scheduled for December 1, 2018 at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. It's a clash awaited by the whole world. The pre-fight promo is an opportunity for the public to enjoy the character development of both showmen. Trash talking is readily used in a good-natured atmosphere, despite a rather hectic press conference. The two men glare at each other, each claiming to be the future WBC champion. Among the observers, no one sees Fury lasting long against Wilder. It has to be said that he has come so far. He has battled alcoholism, drug addiction, depression, and even suicidal impulses. Obese after retiring from the ring, he even lost 132 pounds to face Wilder. Like a phoenix, Fury has the opportunity to rise from the ashes and prove to himself that he can still be a top boxer. Here we are at last. On December 1st in Los Angeles, the two boxers enter the ring to do battle. The bell rings. The start of the fight testifies to Fury's mastery of the puncher Wilder. He uses his jab to avoid Deontay's devastating right. He touches the American at the start of the fight, demonstrating his technical superiority. Fury raises his arms at the end of each takedown, as if to signal to his opponent that he's facing a boxer capable of offering him real opposition in the ring. Fury gets inside the champion's head. He glares at him, lowering his guard. The Gypsy King is on show, and it's the LA public that savors this already mythical fight. Wilder, for his part, is almost always looking for a knockout with his left jab followed by a lightning right hook or cross. Fortunately for Fury, the champion rarely hits the target. The Brit even dodges his assaults with disconcerting ease, and when the score is tallied, Fury is ahead. The champion continues his sap work, trying round after round to land the blow that will make Fury flinch. We reach the 9th round and Tyson is still ahead on points. His left jab has kept him in the lead for the time being, hitting Wilder on numerous occasions. The trouble is, Deontay remains very dangerous, even in trouble. During a clinch on the ropes, Wilder finally connected his famous right hook to the back of Fury's skull and sent him to the mat for the first time. Wilder is known for his boorish boxing technique, and this hook, once again, is borderline consistent. The challenger is hit, but seems unaffected by the champion's acceleration. He's counted out by referee Jack Rice, but goes right back to fighting. Like an overpowered feline, Wilder waits for his prey and seems intent on finishing the fight. The storm then descends on Fury, who receives an avalanche of blows, but he doesn't break and goes back to the front. Round 10 marks the return of the bald Fury, who hits the champion with a well-placed right. Wilder's exceptional chin has ensured that he hasn't wavered in the face of Tyson's precise punches since the fight began. But the American knows that on the point, he'll probably find it hard to return the favor. We've reached the epilogue of this fight of an intensity rarely seen in a World Heavyweight Championship. The entire Staples Center is on its feet to cheer the two champions, and despite their physical fatigue, it's clear that the fight isn't over. The final round begins in an electric atmosphere. Deontay Wilder possesses a gift from heaven that places him among the greatest boxers in history. He's an exceptional puncher with a devastating right hand. Mute for most of the fight, he finally manages to hit the Manchester buff.
Great shot from Fury. Terrific right.
Fury collapses, stunned by a powerful right hook left combination. The challenger lies motionless on the mat. Wilder has the ability to knock anyone out at any moment of the fight. The famous punch that Klitschko so lacked to defeat Fury. Lying inert, Tyson Fury looks almost dead, his arms outstretched in the position of a cross. Wilder is already celebrating this seemingly inevitable victory. His dance steps and arrogant facial expressions have the crowd on its feet. The entire Staples Center is on its feet, celebrating the triumph of its world champion. Fury, on the ground, stares into space, and the outcome of the fight is no longer in doubt. But the Gypsy King is a fighter, we told you. Giving up is not in his vocabulary. He didn't come all this way for a simple left hook to send him back to the grave. Counted out by the referee for the second time in the fight, he gets up against all the odds and heads back to the front.
He's up. Can you continue? Wow, he got up. You want to go?
The look on Wilder's face at this very moment says it all. How could Fury get up from such a blistering sequence? No one in Deontay Wilder's career had ever recovered from the Alabama boxer's punch. The referee even asked Fury to take a few steps to make sure he wasn't staggering. The Staples Center was stunned. The commentators at ringside have never seen anything like it. The whole world, it's fair to say, is stunned. Fury does it though. On his feet, his eyes once again beaming, he returns to challenge a Wilder more enraged than ever. One wonders how the Gypsy King was still able to stand up to this new left hook. Unleashed, Wilder tries to get the better of Fury before the end of the round, but to no avail. The crowd is on its feet to cheer the two champions. The Los Angeles public and the whole world have just witnessed an anthology fight between two warriors. Tyson Fury is back to his usual clowning ways, celebrating his resurrection in front of an American public that now respects him. After the euphoria of the end of the fight, it's time for the result. Mexican judge Alejandro Rochin gives 115-111 for Wilder, while Canadian judge Robert Tapper gives 114-112 for Fury. Finally, British judge Phil Edwards sees a draw, 113-113 all round. And so it was that the two warriors parted ways. Wilder remains world champion. But in 40 professional fights, no other boxer had offered such resistance to Wilder. In the post-fight interview, Fury once again showed his respect for Wilder by thanking him for accepting the fight. "I'm a real fighter, a real warrior. Nobody can deny that." Wilder believes he deserves the victory. "With 2 knockdowns, I think I deserve to win this fight. I controlled the fight. I was more active than he was." Yet many observers and former boxers think the real winner of the fight should have been Fury. And had Fury not gone to ground twice, it's clear that victory would have been in his grasp given the points tally. In the end, we'll remember that one of the best fights in boxing history took place on that magical December 2018 evening at the Staples Center. When Fury stood up in the second round against Wilder, no one imagined he'd be able to finish the rematch. But it was precisely because it's in his nature to never give up that Tyson Fury got back up that night. The man who prayed to God to put him out of his misery when he was in the depths of his depression, less than a year before this fight, went through a veritable way of the cross before being able to step back into the boxing ring. On his knees he raised his head, a resurrection for the man who was on the verge of death. The Briton had to fight to stay alive, for his family, and to put on his gloves again. The post-match interview teaches us 2 things. The first is that both boxers agree to fight again. Both believe they can win the rematch. Obviously, this draw has touched the pride of 2 fighters like Wilder or Fury, and they're desperate to prove their superiority in the ring, unlike a certain Anthony Joshua. "It's a fight people want to see," says Wilder. The second lesson is that this same Joshua has very little credit with the 2 boxers. Wilder has always wanted to reunite the IBF, WBA, WBO, and WBC belts. This has never been possible. Both accuse AJ of shirking. In the end, Andy Ruiz Jr. proved them right by putting Joshua to bed for good.
Mouth guard and gone out.
Maybe that's it!
That is it! Andy Ruiz Jr.
Following the fight, Tyson Fury announces that he's donating his entire match purse, nearly £8 million, to charity. Wilder can be criticized for his verbosity. He claims he wants to add a death to his list of achievements.
I want a body, and he gonna be the body.
You can criticize the excesses of Fury, but the evening of the 1st of December at the end of the year brought us all together in front of a legendary fight, with one of the greatest comebacks in the history of boxing.
The comeback, being out all that thing, going up in weight, the story behind it is a movie. Our journey back to the top is called Road to Redemption. I want to be happy and I want to stay healthy. Because when you lose your happiness, your health declines. And when your health declines, game over.